Oh, what? All right, hello everyone, and now welcome. Wow, my hair is all over the place. My colors are all wrong on my camera. I'm casting at a different time of day, doing a lunch break cast, as we're looking at a game between Vaxx versus Edge. This game taking place here on Tyrannus Stand. Should be a great game. Hopefully you guys enjoy it as I figure out what these particular players will be bringing to the table. Vaxx spawning under the name of Vaxx off. Go as the red undead player on the top left-hand side of the map. Meanwhile, Edge has spawned as the blue undead on the bottom right. Undead, did I say Night Elf the first time? Undead versus Undead. In this Undead mirror match taking place here on Tyrannus Stand, a map that I haven't seen a lot of recently, so we'll see what these players will be bringing to the table in this matchup. All right, already going up to 2 times speed as I realize my lunch break isn't really that long. So let's go ahead and break things down. If I do want to do a recap a little bit at the end, it is going to be a Lich first going up against a Crypt Lord. So no Death Knight out of the opening gates here. And this is pretty interesting, being able to figure out what your opponent's heroes are, being able to nuke them, and well, whether or not we'll see Death Knights as second heroes for both of these players. Acolyte, now out here onto the battlefield, was thinking, you know what, I can scout out, no problem. I just need to see if it's a Crypt Lord or a Death Knight, and he can't Death Coil me. Well, what he can do is auto attack a couple of times and then Frost Nova and use that skeleton corpse to get, well, to get some corpses from that skeleton and get some skeletal warriors. Back down here, we are looking at Edge going after the sheep here. What did the sheep ever do to you? Well, that's just what Undead does, using bodies on the battlefield as a resource as well. Gonna try and set up this expansion here pretty quickly. Meanwhile, right behind this, we see a swarm of ghouls already coming in as the Lich looks to, well, put in some damage. All right, in comes some damage here. We could be looking at some Frost Novas. Yeah, Frost Nova damage onto that Crypt Lord already, as the Crypt Lord now trying to back away. That AoE damage from that Lich, so effective, and also blasting down some of those other units here. All right, getting in some auto attacks here. Edge may end up losing a ghoul if he's not careful. It does end up losing a ghoul already, as Vaxx trying to add up even more. All right, more ghouls are swarming in. More damage is being added up as we're looking at Vaxx really being able to put down this pressure, sitting at 120 mana, and we're going to see an Acolyte get taken down as well. Vaxx may decide to back up here, get up to level 2, and be able to get a Dark Ritual going, since he already has the Rod of Necromancy. And once he has that Dark Ritual going, he's going to be able to, well, use that Frost Nova that much more effectively. Forest Troll Berserker already going to get taken down. There's level 2. Are we going for Dark Ritual? Yes, we are. Skeletal minions look oh so delicious for mana, as that Lich is already up to 194 mana and could get even higher. So far, great play coming in from Vaxx, being able to read the room and figure out what exactly Edge's strategy was going to be. Ghoul is now trying to, well, make some short work out of these apprentice wizards, and this is a strong play by Edge. Edge knows that with that Crypt Lord, he wants to go wide, and what do you need in order to go wide with the Crypt Lord? You need corpses. Clearing out a 1-1-1 creep camp is going to be very beneficial here, as Edge transitions away from the strategy of a fast tech or an expansion to now teching to tier 2. The Lich, however, has other plans, as Edge are being forced to cancel his tech to tier 2, and now will train up some Acolytes. Otherwise, he would fall too far behind in the economic race. Lich still going after some more of those units. Lich could be in a little bit of trouble. He is surrounded. No, able to break free. Does have boots of speed, down to 107 hit points, down to 71, 72, and it looks like he may be able to get away. Boots of speed giving him enough gas in the tank to outrun the ghouls, and without Unholy Aura and without Impale on Edge's level 1 Crypt Lord, well, the damage is racked up. Now, what is the downside here? The downside is, well, there is no downside. Vaxx knows that he needed to heal up that Lich and heal it up quickly, so he's already training up a Death Knight right behind this. A beautiful tempo play, which will allow the Lich to continue his pressure further and further. We don't see a Rod of Necromancy. Gonna instead use that Dark Ritual on one of those skeletal minions already, as the Crypt Lord needs to get up to level 2. Oh, this could be very bad news. If the Crypt Lord gets up to level 2, we could see an Impale on the Lich, and that stun could be a bit too much. Are we gonna see a Frost Nova on the Crypt Lord. No Frost Nova on the Crypt Lord, as we're still seeing some of that engagement there, trying to finish off that low hit point Ghoul. No, does not finish it off in time, as the Scroll of Town Portal does head back, using that Ritual Dagger to heal back up once more. The Crypt Lord staying on Blight, hiding in the back here, and doing an absolute great job. Meanwhile, Death Knight is on the battlefield, so the Lich really does not need to retreat back home, as the Death Knight will be bringing hit points to that Lich. Beautiful play so far, as we're looking at the Lich nearing at 200 mana, can try and go after more of these units. Once again, the Ghouls are relatively low on hit points, and Vaxx is just trying to make sure that that Crypt Lord does not get to level 2 easily. Edge is stuck at tier 1. Edge is stuck on a level 1 hero, and now trying to train up a graveyard to perhaps get out some more units. Lich is right here once more. I thought the Death Knight would have been already down here. Not quite sure what took so long. Perhaps trying to go back and grab a Rod of Necromancy. More Dark Ritual coming back across here. We do see that the expansion of Edge is now already underway. So this was all trying to be sneaky away from all of the action here, as the Crypt Lord was trying to keep the Lich inside his base. We're looking at a little bit of an engagement here. Once more Ghouls and Beetles going after that Lich now. Lich absorbing quite a bit of damage. Death Knight may be forced to get a Death Coil off onto that Lich to try and save, as the low hit point Crypt Lord is once again retreating all the way back. Lich could be in trouble, down to 115 hit points. Is he going to get a Death Coil? The Death Knight went too far, able to blast one Ghoul, but gets taken down. And suddenly Vaxx, wandering too far away from his Death Knight, the Lich gets taken down, giving level 2 to Edge's Crypt Lord. And without that Frost Nova presence, suddenly Edge's expansion looks like it's going to be enough to get him back in this game. All right, a little bit of a lead change, a little bit of a turning point, as Vaxx was in a commanding position throughout much of this match. Now he will be going up against dual Spirit Towers and a Nerubian Tower as well, as the Crypt Lord may try to get an impale off onto some of those units. Death Knight not getting slowed down, but suffering a little bit of piercing damage from those Spirit Towers there. As Vaxx is nearing that tech to tier 3, Obsidian statues are already out onto the battlefield, and we should be getting an Orb of Corruption on that Lich. I have not seen a transition into Crypt Fiend, so I don't know what the late game strategy of Vaxx actually is. As much as Vaxx has done throughout this match, he hasn't really committed to a specific strategy other than harassment. Harassment is a way to gain an advantage, but it doesn't really shut the door and close out a game. Edge now trying to, get an Edge back up himself, getting this haunted gold mine and trying to catch up economically, as he is still far behind in terms of tech, just now starting that tech to tier 2 again, while his opponent Vaxx is already at tier 3. All right, I just got to say this, a little bit of a tangent side note, casting a game during my lunch break, I feel like my energy is actually pretty high, and my observation skills are pretty spot on here. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I'll take this opportunity. If you guys are visiting my channel for the very first time, watching Warcraft 3 videos is something you enjoyed, please consider subscribing, as it helps with search engine optimization, all of those metrics, things like that, which doesn't really make all that much sense to me, even though, there goes my light. All right, maybe I need to go plug it in. All right, will this be enough? Or is it really low on battery? Or is it... All right. Sometimes it just turns off for the sake of turning off. Crypt Lord going after the Rogue Wizard off over here. Should be able to clear things up pretty easily. And, perhaps try and get that much closer to level 4. Death Knight, on the other hand, on the opposite side of the map, sitting at level 2. And we see a True Shot aura on that Lich. So we are looking currently at Ghouls and Obsidian statues with a bit of a ninja expansion. All right, it seems like my light's battery is low, so I will be forced to recharge it. Lighting never... some people have said I've looked better in a dark room, so maybe that will be better for me. Coming back around, Renegade Wizard getting finished off alongside the Assassin here. Death Knight will not get to level 3. Lich will not get to level 4. Meanwhile, we still don't see a second hero coming out from Edge at all. Vaxx is looking to figure out what advantage he can carry into the mid game. And still, right now, he does have a bit of a hero, or he does definitely have a hero and tech advantage, but how is he going to translate that into the final victory? Dark Ranger, the third and final hero, Black Arrow is going to be added, so the Lich is going to be using, Dark Rituals very, very often to try and get more mana as the Crippler now sits up at level 4. There's a Devour Magic right there. There's an Impale across multiple units. Units are now trying to retreat away as the Destroyer could easily go around the top and try and, well, finish off more of those units. Criplord is in a little bit of trouble, uses a potion of invulnerability. There's another Impale, as you can see that the Forest Troll Berserkers and Beetles are continuing to battle it up. One Ghoul gets taken down, but the Destroyers are living up to their name and able to take down any of those medium armored or heavy armored units, as they are vulnerable to magic attacks. Death Knight now leading the charge here. There's another quick Impale once more. Can we see some damage onto that one Forest Troll Berserker? One more final shot. Yes, it does get taken down. Dual Obsidian statues, and this is just an absolute battle in favor of Vaxx right now. Vaxx is in the driver's seat of this game. He has very good control, and as long as he doesn't lose units needlessly and give his opponent experience, he should be fine. Death Knight is now at level 3 with level 2 Death Coil, meaning even I assume he's going to go for level 2 Death Coil at some point, meaning that he is going to be able to keep his Lich alive that much longer and keep it around and have it be that much stronger. All right, Obsidian Statues, Ghouls now trying to make their way over here to the bottom side here. Perhaps try to put in a bit of pressure. 49 supply compared to 51. And Edge going into Gargoyles as the strategy to try and deal with the mass amount of Ghouls and ground presence of Vaxx. Off to the north here, we see one Beetle quickly making a quick rounds, and this is a scouting dead Beetle to try and see if perhaps the Gargoyles can make a bit of a play. Death Knight coming back around here. Is he going to get Frost Nova? Yes, he is. Is he going to get Silence? There's a quick Impale right there. No Silence onto the Criplord, as the Dark Ranger still does not have Silence. My apologies, forgot about that, as that we are looking at only level 1 Dark Ritual. All right, I don't know if my overlay is broken. I would assume level 2 Dark Ritual and level 2 Death Coil should have already been teched right now. I can't imagine Frost Armor is relatively useful, but normally use Frost Armor on your Crypt Fiends against Knights, or if your opponent is an Orc player and you want to really slow down the attacks of the Blade Master. It feels like the way Vaxx has been playing this match and using a Dark Ritual very, very aggressively to be able to constantly nuke enemy units, that would be the better way to go, especially as there are going to be so many Gargoyles in the air. Level 1 weapon upgrades for Vaxx's Ghouls, I believe. Meanwhile, back down to the south, Shade now keeping track of things. 1-0 upgrades on those Ghouls. Dark Ranger sitting at level 2, and we are seeing level 2, but still no level 2 skill. All right, I take it back. Death Knight does go for level 2 Death Coil, only trained it when it was absolutely time to use that ability. Gargoyles are 1-0 upgraded. Edge hoping to do some sort of surprise play and tactic. And without a Panda, AoE damage to try and blast away those Gargoyles may find themselves, very difficult to kill. Lich should also be getting an Orb of Corruption as well. And the Gargoyles, because of the fast-moving pace of this particular map, the openness over water and trees, the Gargoyles are often able to attack without worry. Now, what are we going to do to follow all of this up here? We are looking at the Lich still hanging back here. Ghoul is going to try and engage off. We are looking at a handful of Obsidian Statues retreating in the back here. We are looking at level 2 Dark Ritual as the Death Knight stays at level 3. And, Lightning Shield getting cast down on the Dark Ranger, who does, in fact, have Silence. Potion of Greater Mana should be picked up by the Death Knight, as, the Death Knight now with 2 very powerful consumable items going into that next fight. This expansion on the bottom left is still a bit of a ninja expansion. Meanwhile, Vaxx, even though he knows his opponent has Gargoyles, has not gone for any towers inside his main base. I wonder if that's going to be exploited a bit later on by Edge, as Edge is nearing the upper limit of low upkeep. Lich also with plus 13 damage coming in from Edge. Meanwhile, the Lich off over here plus 8 damage, upwards of 48 damage compared to upwards of 41 damage. That Mantle of Intelligence and Claws of Attack plus 5 making quite a difference there. Yeah, 48 compared to 41, right? Yep. My math, yes, my public school education has not failed me. Unless it's the wrong answer, then it really failed me. Coming back around, level 4, level 3, level 2, obsidian statues coming here. Meanwhile, Gargoyle is going after the center creep camps, and the majority of the creep camps have now been cleared out. Getting level 2 to that Death Knight was incredibly important to increase the mobility of not only the Death Knight, but also all of those gargoyles in the air. Circlet of Nobility being added to that Lich, who now has, well, 43 damage per auto attack, and that is just going to continue to grow and grow if that Lich gets more and more powerful items. That Lich also at 375 mana at level 1, something you don't normally see. Adding in a Gloves of Haste, that Lich's auto attack now is in the fast category, meaning that he'll be able to apply that negative debuff around. Only a handful of units left out here onto the battlefield. Slippers of Agility plus 3. Who's that going to be given to? The Dark Ranger, a little bit faster of an auto attack, or maybe sold a bit later. Meanwhile, Edge looking to see if an expansion was established and sees no expansion here, and maybe curious where the expansion was actually placed. All right. It looks like Edge was purposely trying to take down some of his own ghouls to get out of high upkeep, which would make sense, but it looks like he only took out skeletal minions instead of ghouls, which, well, actually doesn't make any difference at all. All right, we're looking into a potential engagement. Gargoyle is going to go ahead and engage here. Scroll of Protection being used. There's a reveal as well, and both sides are fighting their way through. Level 3 now on that Dark Ranger in the back here as the Black Arrow's Scroll of Town Portal being used by the Crypt Lord in order to get away, and a tactical retreat was, in fact, in order. I don't see any obsidian statues, though. It looks like all of them transformed into destroyers here. And without obsidian statues, those ghouls are going to end up falling pretty fast. Meanwhile, Mass Skeletal Minion Army and Book of the Dead Army making their way over to the top right-hand side to see if an expansion was established. All right, finishing things off. Death Knight may get to level 4. Yes, does get to level 4. Quickly gets level 2 Unholy Aura for that faster movement speed. Circlet of Nobility, very powerful item given now to the Dark Ranger, who has plus 11 attack as well. All right, with level 2 Dark Ritual and level 2 Black Arrows, those skeletal minions are going to have more hit points, and you convert more of those hit points to mana, meaning that that Lich should be able to continually blast these very, very quickly and easily. Carrion Beetles getting absolutely devoured here. You got to be careful, as you can see them just giving experience to Vaxx's army. Now, Edge is going to be in a bit of trouble if he does not scout out this bottom left-hand side of the map. Without realizing that an expansion is here, he is making the wrong choices. He's thinking that he can outlast his opponent, and every second he's mining, he's going to get a little bit more gold and be a bit stronger. Quickly realizes on the bottom left-hand side there is an expansion here. There is some towers, and that is going to be a major deterrence here. Death Knight, Crypt Lord, and Lich next level juke play as we finally see an expansion coming in from the main base of Vaxx once the ninja expansion was revealed. If he can force an engagement near his base that has a little bit of towers, that could turn out to be fairly strong here as the Gargoyles quickly getting Frost Nova. Both sides trying to fight their way through. Gargoyles do have Scroll of Protection, I believe, on both sides, as there, well, that additional +2 armor could make a difference. No Vampiric Aura to go around, only True Shot Aura, as we see them picking up some of the ground units here. 69 supply compared to 64. Edge is actually starting to inch out a little bit further as we're looking at the Scroll of Healing, trying to keep all of the units alive. Vaxx falling behind here. Dark Ranger and Lich being forced to retreat back. Death Knight may be forced to retreat back, as well as a handful of units are getting taken out. Oh, the Frostworm could have easily perhaps gotten some damage on some slowly retreating units and gotten some experience that way. 4-3-2 going up against 4-4-3. Edge still behind in the hero level race, and now Vaxx going into his third base here at his natural expansion. Main base nearly mined out, 1 minute left. Should be able to easily transfer some acolytes over from the main base to the natural expansion, as it will be mined out in just a moment. Edge also running out of gold at his main base, and his natural expansion still has about 10 minutes or 9 minutes left. Vaxx's first expansion still has 12 minutes of mining left, as we are now looking at the Spirit Towers and the Rubian Towers trying to cause a bit of problems. Units now trying to run in from the north hand side, and Vaxx is just trying to move down here as quickly as possible. He does not want to lose this expansion, otherwise, he is going to end up falling further and further, or allowing Edge to get caught up more and more. Vaxx perhaps blowing quite a bit of a lead here if this expansion does in fact go down. Lich going to force an engagement here. However, the Crypt Lord does have Scroll of Protection, Scroll of Healing. I don't know if there's no Scroll of Town Portal, but there is dual Scrolls of Healing as the units are fighting their way through. Destroyer has a good amount of mana for a little bit of splash damage from Vaxx. 52 supply compared to 64, as Vaxx still unable to close the deal here, but there are a lot of low hit point gargoyles, and one big Frost Nova there taking down many low hit point units. Dark Ranger being forced to retreat back. Death Knight gonna perhaps get a Death Coil off onto the Dark Ranger for the save, and there is no minions out here on the battlefield, so the Dark Ranger is actually being countered because there is no skeletal minions on the battlefield to give the Lich mana. All right, so if you could take down the ghoul, finish off that ghoul, turn it into a skeletal minion, and then transform that into mana, the Lich would suddenly be able to start Frost Novaing those gargoyles. This is a game about limiting the play of that Lich and that Dark Ritual, hence the amount of air units that you see coming in from Edge. All right, great play there. The only ground units here are, the ghouls of Vaxx, and Vaxx is not killing his own units to get skeletal minions. I don't think you can actually apply that debuff onto your own ghoul to try and get a skeletal minion. Back here on the bottom left-hand side, we are looking at the Carrion Beetles finishing things up. Triple destroyers able to stop that Carrion Beetle, as we are looking at new saturation here on this expansion. Main gold mines have been mined out. We are looking at one base play on both sides here, as Vaxx is setting back up at his natural expansion, a little bit easier to defend than Edge's forward expansion that has only 6 minutes of mining left. All right, Acolytes making their way over here to the top right-hand side of the map as well. They may be doing a bit of mining. There is one Acolyte over here on the bottom left. Vaxx doesn't want to risk full saturation and then lose all of those Acolytes anymore. So with one Acolyte, he is getting a little bit of gold, and that is it, without trying to risk all too much. Coming back through. All right, Gargoyles making their way over. Frostware making their way over. Are we going to see a Scroll of Town Portal inbound? 64 supply compared to 64. Both sides very even in terms of army. And this expansion will end up getting, halted once more. Haunted Gold Mine gonna be destroyed. Meanwhile, over here on the top right-hand side of the map, Ghouls gonna perhaps try and shut down all of these Acolytes, as they're not doing much of anything. Beetles now trying to retreat back as well. 5-3-3 compared to 5-4, almost 4, as well as the Ghouls, if they finish off one of these Acolytes, may give that Dark Ranger, no, not going to give the Dark Ranger level 4, but just get it that much closer again and again. All right, Acolyte trying to retreat away from the Ghoul. Ghoul very low on, or Acolyte low on hit points. Dark Ranger still gaining a little bit more experience. Dark Ranger up to, 13 experience away. If the Dark Ranger was there and was able to start getting some skeletal minions, then the Lich would also have a bit of mana as well. All right, not going to be seeing that. There's level 4 on the Dark Ranger. Let's go ahead, get a Black Arrow shot off on the Acolyte. And now there is a Dark Minion, 290 hit points. And there's another Dark Minion there. Yep, you saw that Dark Ritual quickly. Meanwhile, Gargoyle is going to go ahead and put in pressure onto the expansion. Vaxx is in a bit of trouble, as the Gargoyles are going to try to perhaps retreat back over. 65 supply compared to 61. Army sizes of Vaxx slightly larger at this point in the stage in the game, as the Acolytes are trying to mine away while a fight is raging on around them. Gargoyle is continuing to retreat back, and hit and run tactics do not work when you're going up against a level 5 Lich with level 3 Frost Nova. All right, both sides going to fight and engage. There's a big Frost Nova right there, as we see Stone Form on all of Edge's Gargoyles, and now joining back in on the fight. Dark Ranger getting a silence off on the Death Knight. Both sides still fighting here. 55 supply compared to 57. Vaxx trying to hold off Edge as this is seems to be an even fight all the way around. Death Knight gets up to level 4. 544 compared to 543 as the Lich is still, well, getting in Frost Novas on both sides. Lich of Vaxx still has enough for, I believe, 2 more Frost Novas momentarily, or at least 1, maybe 2 when the time comes, based on all the timing. As we see an Impale go on to Vox's Dark Ranger. Dark Ranger could be in trouble. No, Death Coil just in time. Split-second difference there as the Frost Nova slows down a bunch of those Gargoyles even further. Dark Ranger now trying to retreat back. Death Knight of Vaxx also seeing that level 5, level 3 Death Coil, a split-second late onto the Destroyer, and that may have been the difference. Vaxx losing his Lich, and that may be it, as a Vaxx, well, signs off saying, Edge, you are crappy, and unable to finish off his opponent even though he had a major advantage. Great game between the two. Vaxx had great harassment early on, but was unable to capitalize on that harassment and turn it into a win. Edge, lucking out that Vaxx's hidden expansion didn't actually hurt him in the end, and really it came down to a couple of split-second differences, potions of invulnerabilities at the right time, death coils at the right or wrong time, and Vaxx also early on losing his level 3 Lich, going up against a level 1 Cripplord. His Death Knight just too far away. And this is one of those statements where when you lose a game that you have pretty much already won, it feels that much more devastating. Making those mistakes, losing that Lich early on, and then letting everything just completely unravel. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed it.